Boom, there it is. People are like, where are you at, Nate? I'm on the screen. You can check it out. Good morning to you. If you want to share your thoughts, 513-873-7134. In fact, we have a call on the line right now. Let's go straight to it. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What up, though, Nate?
What up with you?
A little bit of everything, brother. I tried to have this conversation with you yesterday, but you hung up on me. But on Sunday, I spent the day at church with Tracie and had a good conversation with her. And we both knew what was going to happen. Hell, she said in her sermon what was going to happen. It wasn't a mystery. Hence the look on her face when the house niggers drug her off. Now, I mentioned to you prior that I don't think black women should be police under white tutelage, under the white male. It's just not a doable thing. Nowhere in that moment, well, Tracie didn't faint, and I keep noticing the news when they rebroadcast it, they cut off that section. But when they was airing it live, you saw the whole thing. The lady just grabbed her, and she grabbed her from behind at a fucked up angle. So and Tracie is thin, man. I just hugged her, and she's very extremely thin lady. And the lady with the cop with the belt on and all of the gear, she weighed more than her, clearly knocked her off balance. And then tried to just drag her way under her arm until she couldn't bear the weight and grabbed her under her armpit and then drug her off. But nowhere did this house nigger say, no, I ain't about to do this. Sister Hunter, you gonna walk up out of here like a queen with your head high? You ain't gonna embarrass me or yourself. Now let's go, sister, and we gonna do this together. And hugged her as they walked out. But no, she had to secure her paycheck. Her white leader's talking to her. The white male, she even spoke to the white male when she could have said, help me help her up. But of course, she's there just for a paycheck. Hence, we can't have our black women. It's fucked up having black men be cops. But then a black woman who will be a little more submissive of a white male, oh, no, that's not good. That's not beneficial, and it's not a thing to do. Well, I want to move on to your next topic or point you made, which I just strongly disagree with you. I really believe you casting a vote and do not have the political power to wheel your vote through and make it happen is a wasted vote. And they keep showing you time and time and time again. And my point is, your concept or theory of voting the evidence don't fit it. You haven't prospered from it. They jank you because you voting in a loaded dice game. So for you to keep saying, I'm going to keep playing a rigged-ass game and think there's some type of honor in it, it's just not so, my brother. It's just not so. And the evidence prove you not so. I mean, I understand you got wishful thinking and, people die for the right to vote. More people die for you to kill white people. More black men and women sacrifice your life for you to fight them back than ever in the earth die for you to vote with them. That's an undisputed fact. Hence, the evidence don't support your theory. Could you rebuttal that? You got to, say something.
There's nothing to rebuttal, man. I mean, you absolutely wrong. Period.
Okay, well then rebuttal it. You will have to if I'm wrong. Prove it. What evidence do you have to support what you're saying? Show and prove it. Point to a document, a video, anything that you could point to support you voting then benefited in some wise.
Okay. I mean, listen, man. I feel like we going around in circles. I appreciate the call, but you asking me to prove to you that oxygen exists. You asking me to prove to you that water exists. Look around. Look around. Like, if we're judging whether voting matters or whether voting has an impact in our community based upon what you think an impact is, then you're right. We'll never be there. I mean, but everybody knows that you're completely warped. I mean, do we have to name the individual African-American elected officials? I mean, aren't those in and of themselves examples of the success? I mean, are we trying to say that what happened with Tracie Hunter went down in the exact same manner as the way things happened 40, 50, 100 years ago? In some cases, there's a lot of similarities. In some cases, the game done changed. So if we're talking about a presidential election, I can understand that. But what we're talking about here is simple science, man. Simple science. Simple science. And that is that when it comes to voting locally where you live is going to have much more of an impact than we start talking about national issues. I'm just sorry. I mean, it's going to have a much more of a bigger impact than that. But something tells me that no matter what examples I give you, you ain't going to be satisfied because you got a fantasies. You got your own fantasies. Like you said, your fantasy is rising up and taking over the country or something. I'm not sure what the hell it is actually. But unless you see that, you're never going to see any examples of it. So let us folks that can see these kind of things, let us deal with that. Let us deal with that. And I'll let you deal with that other nonsense. Let us do that. You know what I'm saying? You know, you want me to tell you something that you're never going to be satisfied about. So why even go through all of that? Let's go straight to the phones here. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Brother Ivy?
Hey, what up? What up? Brother Prime.
Well, I tell you that, hey, you better tell him again. You know, you got to mark this back down in history, man. I agree. Actually, with Black Lion. Only on the part about the lady, the so-called sister that, you know, so-called how they say it, escorted her out, and everybody is praising like she did a great thing. Like I'm like,
people
you know, it's like
her? I haven't heard anybody praise
her.
her.
Yeah. On Facebook, yeah, Pastor Wilson, a lot of them, yeah, saying that she kept the peace and that she kept order. Yeah, a lot of people on Facebook, hands down. Yeah, she kept order. She didn't want to stop them from going off in the courtroom. Yeah, that's where he got it from. I seen it myself. I was like, wow, yeah. It's like when the Jewish people got hurt and all the Nazis were like, oh, we were just doing our job for Hitler. We were just all working. It's just our job. That's what our people are always saying. You know, we just had to, I got to pay my rent. Like, come on, man. Yeah, it's crazy. But you know, Nathan, as always, you hit the needle on the head. These are all elected officials, man. A judge is elected. A prosecutor is elected. You know, every time you see our people around the nation arguing over the police officer who so-called shoot our brothers and sisters, the mayor is elected. That's who's the choice makers. That's who's the one who's appointed the chief. It's a mayor. So these are all elected officials' jobs. So the answer's already there to elect them out. If you elected them in, elect them out. That's what they're all afraid of. Somebody told me yesterday that the so-called Republicans do not care about these positions. Oh, pal, they're already rich and they don't need this. That's not necessarily true. If they didn't want their job, they wouldn't run for it. So if he or she didn't desire to have that position, they wouldn't be there. And that's the key. It's to get rid of them. Because you and I both know the same Negroes that's out here cheering or so-called crying upset were some of the same Negroes that was cheering and putting leaders in there. I know that for a fact. You know, we ain't got to say no names, but it's amazing to me how all of a sudden people just get amnesia. Like, oh, y'all wasn't right there with you know, when we was first in the beginning trying to get rid of this man. But, you know, it just amazes me because you know what they was going to do. And the other thing he said that I know was true is that I was telling everybody, y'all know they was going to get that sister. You know they was after Tracie Hunter. Or they wouldn't even went through all the process they went through. So, you know, I can't even pronounce this dude's name, but I got my own, my own poster board I'm making, my own little poster. I got my Tracie on there. You know, don't vote for Joe Dieters. I can't even pronounce this other guy's name. What's his name? Dickerland or what's his name? Dinkelacre? What's his name?
Dinkelacre. Yeah, Dinkelacre.
Man, I'm gonna eat dude's name up, but you know there. God bless him, because I'm going everywhere. Black Family Union, Jasper. So we're gonna be everywhere protesting by myself, single-handedly. No, you got to understand politics and go to the games. Go everywhere and tell people don't vote for these people. That's the key. We got this year and next year. Get out and vote. Stop getting emotional. That's our problem. 6 months. Another thing you was talking about the other day, Nathan, that upsets me is that some people on Facebook is joking. I don't know what they call memes and all that stuff. Like, it's only 6 months and just goofy stuff. We laugh too much to me, man. It's not a funny thing. It's like, oh, is she gonna be okay? And why she just didn't suck it up? And people just say dumb stuff to me, man. As a people, it's not fun. It's not a funny day or a funny situation. So that's where I'm at with this issue. And keep up the good work, good brother. For every problem, like I said, there's a solution. So you're right, man. Get out to vote. Let's get them out of there. That's all we got to do.
Absolutely.
And trust and believe. That's what they're afraid of. I'm gonna throw something, Nathan. You're the only one I say this to on your show. I keep saying we need 6 or 7 good people to run. What do you think about Tracie Hunter joining the team and running for council when this is over?
I think that's real interesting. I think if
Talk to me. What you think?
if it's possible for her to do it, I think she should.
It is. Oh, you can run felony. I already know that game. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can run felony.
Is that right?
I said to me, yeah, hey, what do you think when this is over? Is she gonna be on parole? So she can't leave Cincinnati? Because I think Tracie, I know she wants to leave, but is she gonna be on parole?
Parole or no? She won't be on parole, but she might. I mean, she. Hopefully, she won't be on parole. Hopefully, she won't be on probation either.
Right, because I know for a fact she wants to leave. She said that more than one time. Like, when this is over, I'm getting the heck out of here. But if she does stay, Nathan, what do you think about my suggestion for her to run for council?
I love it.
My man. You the only one. I ain't gonna say that. You the only person I'm gonna say on this show. That's right. Because I need a team, and you on my team, and I would love to have her on the team, brother. Because I know she's gonna have a lot to do, and she had her name, so people gonna be furious. Maybe we should even shoot for the. Come on, man, and maybe we should even shoot a little higher, but we're gonna leave it alone for right now. But we're gonna keep it out there in the atmosphere. All right, brother.
All right, take it
as
easy.
always. Good to hear from you.
Yeah,
yes,
most def. That's Brother Powell checking in. Tracie Hunter running for city council? What? I mean, damn, I ain't mad at that idea. I ain't mad at that. Very interesting. I think it could work for her. I think it could work for her for sure. Why not? Yeah, it could definitely work for her. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. This is your West Side Connection, your voice of reason. And, sir, you owe me an apology in reference to the Erica Thomas hoax that took place over the weekend.
There is no hoax. That's never been confirmed.
You saw the videos I sent, Nate. I know you had to see them
Okay, so I didn't see any videos you sent to me within the last 24 hours. I did see a video in which she was asked a question about it, and she seemed to sort of like back it up a little bit, back away from it, and she was trying to put a finer point on it. Now, did she make some other stunning admission? Because I've missed that.
Okay, Nate. Like I was telling you yesterday, there were 3 significant videos, but there's a 4th video. Okay, I'll tell you about that one in a minute.
A 4th video.
In her first yes, there's a 4th video that was released on June 20th. The incident took place. July. The incident took place on July 19th. On July 20th, her and either one of her political action committees or her re-elect committee posted a video, Nate. They took previous footage, okay? But anyway, I'll tell you about that later. I'll put the link to that video. It's called Erica Thomas Superhero. If you Google that, it'll show up. Erica Thomas Superhero. But yes. Okay,
Erica
so
Thomas,
anyway.
Superhero. And that's I can find that on YouTube?
Yes, Erica Thomas Superhero. It's about a 2 or 3 minute video. But let me finish, Nate. Based on the way you lambasted me yesterday and accused me of demeaning this woman, okay? Because in her first video, Nate, where she was crying, fake, okay? She did not say that the man called her a black bitch, which I told you yesterday, and you swore up and down. It was in the video. You tripping, drop. It was in the video. So, of course, you know how I roll, brother. I went yesterday, and I put all of it together. It's like 3 different tweets, all back to back, of the first video of her, which was edited. I don't know if she did it or the person who posted it did it, but it was edited, and she clearly states that the guy called her a son of a bitch or ignorant son of a bitch or something like that, and go back to where you came from. Then in the second video, that was her confronting the guy who she had the confrontation with. And then if you see that video, you're gonna look at the first video and like, wait a minute, this couldn't be the same woman, because if the woman in the second video was the woman that was in the store, dude wouldn't have did what he did. Okay, so then there's the video where she's talking to the reporter who was doing the little press conference with the guy in front of public, and that's when she said, well, he didn't say go back to your country or go back to where you came from, but he was making those kind of references. And see, Nate, that's what I'm talking about. This woman is an elected official, and she's a politician. She capitalized on this situation, which was, yes, the dude was a freaking asshole. He shouldn't have did what he did. But she manipulated it, Nate, playing with black folks' emotions, getting people all riled up, got people in the chop shop just destroying me because, oh, what's wrong, Doc? You telling me calling somebody a black bitch ain't racist? And I'm like, that ain't what happened. So anyway, Nate, I just wanted to call in to let you know that representative from Georgia, Erica Thomas, was race hustling. When you see that Erica Thomas superhero video, Nate, and you look at the very end of that video, and that will tell you right there, brother.
Who made this video?
That
Erica Thomas. Who made this video? This Erica Thomas superhero video.
Nate, it looked like somebody in her campaign made it. Because I even have made videos like that.
Okay.
It's easy to do.
Right.
And I could, and then when I was watching the video, I'm like, okay, this is a pretty good video. She's an impressive lady and everything. And then the graphic at the end said, this is the crying Erica Thomas. And then it turned, I was like, wait a minute. This shit is clearly, this was intended to be a fundraiser, okay? But as the video goes on, at the very end, the caption says, well, maybe this is why it happened. And they showed about 10 pictures of all white people at Trump rallies screaming and yelling. So you can see the video, Nate.
Okay. So you're saying
it may
he
not
didn't
be
call
very
her a black bitch. You saying he only called her a lazy bitch. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, something right.
Oh.
And again, Nate, I told you yesterday what the guy did was wrong. I wouldn't have done it. But my main point pointing it out was that she is an elected official and she manipulated a situation for votes.
Or maybe he called her a selfish little bitch. Maybe that's what he called her.
Yeah, but it's all there, Nate. But he didn't say what she originally accused the man of. And if the man had not come forward,
how do you know? You weren't even
Nate, are you serious?
I'm just saying, you don't know. All I know is, here's what I know. As I said yesterday, we got a man who has questionable character, correct? Everybody agrees he's got all right.
Yes.
We got a black female who's saying that this man with questionable character said some crazy shit to her. Is that correct?
Yes, but you're leaving out the important part, Nate.
That's enough.
She is not just a black woman. If you listen to her first video, Nate, she said it herself. She's like, I wanted to say who I was, but I just couldn't get the words out. Come on, Nate. You know good and well if you are a state representative in your district and somebody comes at you like, you're going to say, oh, hi, sir, I'm Representative so-and-so and so-and-so.
It depends. Not always. It depends on the scenario. Before you put your cards out there, you might want to see what the other person's cards are. So I can see a scenario where either a black elected official or a non-black elected official might not jump out there and throw it out there the first time they get into a confrontation with somebody that seems like they're a little bit off.
Right. But see, again, Nate, it just goes to show you what people will do for fame, for fortune, and for status.
I'm not really sure that's what it goes to show you.
But Nate, did you see the Erica Thomas superhero video, Nate? It's clear.
I have not.
What it was. Huh?
You say it's clear.
You haven't seen it?
I have not seen it, but I think I get an idea.
Okay, so don't comment on it, sir. Please don't comment on it until you see it.
Well, I just said I didn't.
I know you speculate. I know you use conjecture. That's what you do. You're a talk show host. I get it,
and I'm not alone in that.
But I'm just a caller.
Because you're doing that right now.
I'm just a caller.
I mean, you
happened.
You have come to the conclusion that everything this black woman said, is a lie, based behind
I did not say that. See, there you go. I did not say everything she said was a lie.
Okay, so everything she didn't say. Okay, so you're saying that what she said at first is a lie. You're calling her a liar. basically. So you
Yes,
think this black woman is
because
a liar?
what she posted, Nate, what she posted. Okay, again, I'm not saying that what she went through in that store was not emotional. It was not trauma. I am not saying that,
You're
Nate.
just trying to
But
say
all I'm
exactly
saying
what
is,
happened, and you weren't there. You're
but
getting it
all
from
I'm
the
saying,
same
Nate.
source as I am. You're looking at the videos, and you are drawing your own conclusion based upon how you look at things.
But I'm looking at the totality of the whole incident, Nate. You know Nate, how many times have I been right? I mean, come on, Nate. I've been rolling with you for over a year, my brother.
I don't know, man. Too many times to count, but that don't mean you're right now.
It's clear when you see that video. When you see that video, when the incident happened on the 19th, the video is posted to YouTube on the 20th. Okay, and they messed up, Nate. They messed up because the guy came down to Publix.
I mean, a lot of what you're saying
Right,
don't make
because
sense.
they didn't expect that, Nate. That's what I'm telling you, Nate. Nate, what did I tell you?
You're telling me this woman, Erica Thomas, is already an elected official, correct?
Yes.
So she already knows what it takes to win an election. She's already gone through this process. But for some reason, she wants to try to use this incident to try to blow up her presence, her profile. So
yes.
what? So she can get elected again? She already got elected. What I would say is
that's
a hot potato right there.
Nate,
when you try to set those kind of things in motion, you don't know whether that's going to turn out good for you or bad for you. So I'm just saying it's a lot of logic.
First of all, she's from the state of Georgia. What other black, overweight woman who's been on the national stage is from the state of Georgia?
Say again now?
What other black female politician from the state of Georgia that is on the national level right now?
I mean, we already know about Stacey
Abrams.
But what's your point, though? Where are we going with this?
Nate, my point is, my brother, it's politics, sir. And again, all I ask is for you to withhold some of your commentary until you see the end of the video.
Okay.
Because like I told you, I have nothing against this woman, but I know politics,
but you know
Nate.
politics.
Like I told you.
I get it.
I can see the stitches on the fastball. And like I predicted to you in 2018, that this border is going to be a major issue in the 2020 election. And look what's happening.
Okay, you predicted that. I mean,
now before I go, real quick.
Donald Trump ran on that. He ran on the border. He's been in office for over a year. He's been focusing on the border since before he got in the office. But
he was trying to get money so he could prepare. You told us all
about it, though. Okay.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, if you allow me just a couple of minutes, is it okay? I want to give you my take on the Tracie Hunter thing.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
After your show was over, I went straight to the internet to try to find the actual live footage of her hearing. Right.
Right.
So I think I was on the Fox 19 feed on Twitter. Okay. So I'm following it. Right. Okay. And obviously it's in reverse order. The further you go down is the beginning. Right. So the first account, they showed her being dragged out. It was from a distant camera, right? And the account said that she passed out or something, right? Uh-huh. So then as I'm scrolling down, there's other camera angles. And the second camera angle that I saw, when the judge told the bailiff to take her into custody, she did not want to be handcuffed and perp walked with handcuffs through the courtroom. So she kind of just went limp. And that's when everybody freaked out, right? The bailiff, everybody went to her aid, and the bailiff that was handcuffing her, he wasn't the one who actually dragged her out. It was the black sheriff who dragged her out.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So, and then I saw another angle, which was straight close, and you could see the handcuffs were still on her arm. Her eyes were wide open, and she was mumbling something. So again, Nate, I know that's a local issue, but I've mentioned before that Tracie Hunter is going to have a life after she does this 1 year community service and 6 months in jail. So she'll be out again. And someone mentioned about her possibly running for office in Cincinnati. But I think because of the way it ended, with her being dragged out and her supporters being arrested, mm-hmm. I think she kind of messed it up as far as her having a political career after
Really?
that. But
Why do you
either
say that?
way, we're going to hear from her.
Why do you say that?
Because
What makes
like
you think that?
your caller, Powell, like Powell said, he's hearing different things from different people in the black community. You know, some people think that she messed up and she should have just took her time 5 years ago. And then some people say, okay, I see she fought for it. She gave it a good fight. She had support from the local NAACP with Nicole, a.k.a. TNT, Truth to Power. And so people thought, okay, they tried. It didn't happen. Okay, do your time and come back strong. And then there were some people who was like, oh, is something wrong with her? She crazy and she been lying to us. It's something mentally. But again, it's local, and that was just my take on Tracie Hunter. But it just wasn't a good look the way she decided to be taken out of the courtroom. It would probably look better if she had just been handcuffed, walked out with her head up with no dignity, and and then said, "Hey, the fight will continue," or something like that. But it's just a bad look. But anyway, Mr. Ivy, thank you for giving me time. Huh?
I didn't say a word, man, but you're very welcome, man. Thanks for the flows.
Okay, and before I go, I want to shout out to Judge Tracie Hunter, hashtag free Tracie Hunter, hashtag free Judge Hunter. Drop Squad 52, dropping signs anyone who wants to catch a thief.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and rack them. Appreciate the call. Ex-Judge Tracie Hunter dragged from courtroom to jail. And that's what Drop was referring to. If you're on YouTube, I've got the image up right now. This is an iconic image that will be burned into the permanent consciousness of Cincinnati, black Cincinnati in particular. That is an iconic image right there. Let's go back to the phones and let's catch up. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, what's up, guy?
Doing great. Welcome.
Oh, yeah. A lot to digest. Watching Tracie Hunter make herself go limp like that and having to be drugged out of that courtroom, it really did do something to me. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like, wow, I don't really like, like I said on your show Friday, I don't want to see her go to jail. I don't think she needs jail, but I would have liked to seen her herself without the deputy having to prompt her to, carry herself with a little more gravitas and walk out of there head high. You know what I mean? Because I'm looking at it, because I was just talking to somebody last night. I'm looking at the thing from somebody and from the perspective of people who actually had to fight cases and take deals. They gave her an out clause. I don't have your resources, Ms. Hunter. You see what I'm saying? Most people don't have your resources to fight a case. So when they're taking a deal, they're just taking it and getting it over with. She drug it out for 5 years all the way up to the federal courts, the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals. So she was given an out clause and didn't take it, and that's why I'm just like, I don't feel that. And what's her name? The Chocolate Girl Wonder. She put a post in the group that where somebody says that. I thought she said it, but she copied and pasted somebody else's Facebook post about that. Like, there's other more serious issues here. I mean, 6 months is vacation time for a lot of people when it comes to the criminal justice system. And this was the institution that you made yourself decided to make your living from.
Yeah, those would be criminals. Those would be, that's
I
vacation
get
time
that.
for criminals, right?
Well, she's a convicted criminal at this point. Let's not mince words.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that she is a criminal. I mean, I'm just talking about like the kind of people that have that kind of mentality that like, 6 months in jail is vacation time, or people that's in and out of the system all the time. That's not who Tracie Hunter is.
And remember I said that she doesn't have a doing time just disposition, but some guy from an affluent suburb wants to be cynical with a doing time disposition. And as we see, she doesn't have one. She went in there, made her body go limp. I thought that was a little petulant, but I still went out and rallied for her last night. I tried to get to the boycott at dude's house, at Dinkelacker's house, because it's 5-minute drive from me. But I see the crowd was dispersing. I seen Channel 12 there, and they were like all the white neighbors were out on their porches and in their driveways, like filming people. You know what I mean? It was it was a very odd scene over there. And but yeah, I would have liked to seen her carry herself with a little more gravitas. Let's leave that black deputy alone. We all know what it was. First of all, they use women to cuff women. And trust me, if you thought the scene of a black lady dragging her out of court was bad, just imagine had it been a white lady or a white male, what we'd be saying right now. So let's leave that young lady alone. She's doing her job. Whether we like the fact that she did it and that she carried out her duties. And plus, with all that chaos, she had to get her out of there. She had to get Tracie Hunter out of there. Anyway. And it looks at one point when she brought her from back behind the table, it looks like she leaned in to ask her, "Are you going to walk?" And Tracie, obviously said no, and just so she had to get her out of there. But what I didn't like, and this is what made me go to his house, was the judge coming back out talking shit and taunting people. He should have just stayed in his chambers and minded his business, let his deputies and bailiffs handle that stuff. He come back out, he's talking greasy to the crowd. Well, she went to every court, level of court, and they denied her, and they affirmed it. I just thought he didn't carry himself with any gravitas either. Coming out, all that commotion going on, and he's still, talking to Lincoln Ware, doing an interview. It's like, dude, you're supposed to be back in chambers, away from all that. But I think that I tell you, there's one thing that definitely should come out of this. Black Cincinnati needs to jettison Christianity and these Christian leaders, because they did nothing for this woman. Bishop Bobby Hilton, respect to him. If y'all close to him and know him, that's your business. I'm not casting aspersions on you, but dude, he did nothing. Just more talk. She's a Christian preacher. A weapon formed against her prospered. And him, Damon Lynch, the weed selling preacher, they did nothing for her. All the plan and everything, it did nothing for her. She's sitting behind bars right now, and I just think this is a good time for Black Cincinnati to take a good look at Christianity. And what do you really expect from it? And how does it really play into your daily life?
Well, I think your points are well taken. Well taken. The only pushback I would give you is that, you're going to blame all of Christianity for what some local black preachers don't do?
I'm not blaming all of Christianity, but he's the most loud. But we always refer back to them.
I'm just saying.
The same group of people. Damon Lynch, Bobby Hilton, the Beaumont Cat. Y'all, you Negroes, this time has passed. It's over for that. Praying and stuff. It's over for that. We done with that. This is even though I thought the Black Lives Matter people were kind of disrespectful to Al Sharpton, I get what they were saying. We're done with that preaching and praying. It's time for some real action. Get out there, good luck to Gabe Davis. Because Dieters is fronting. Now he talking about he on the phone with DeWine twice, trying to get her sentence commuted. But yet you still had the time to write that letter saying she's crazy and needs a mental health evaluation. You see what I'm saying? Just the whole thing it's a whole complete and utter mess. Her brother testifying, just the whole thing is just a complete mess. It really is a stain on the city and individuals and all the individuals involved, from her and her brother to Dinkalacker. I don't know how much I blame him, because he's just executing a sentence that was already done. Sounds like they could have set him to be the one up to take the bullets. All he did was execute a sentence that had already been done, issued, and been affirmed that it was okay to do so for the most part by the courts.
Well, he did more than that.
What else he do?
I mean, he had latitude with the sentencing.
He could have.
He took what a lot of people thought was an extreme view on the sentencing. He could have been a lot more lenient. He could have been he could have brought a different attitude to the game, right?
Didn't, in your infancy of this podcast, didn't Tamaya Denoir once guest hosted for you?
She did not guest host it, no.
Didn't somebody come in for you one morning on this podcast?
No.
Okay, well, were you on commercial radio? Somebody guest hosted your show, or you guest hosted theirs?
Yeah, in commercial radio.
You didn't try and take over the show, did you? You still maintained that it was their show, because that would be unethical to try and take over the show. And that's what it would have been a little unethical for him to like go behind his partner like that, especially somebody in his party.
Now you
and if you were expecting him, and if you were expecting, I'm not making excuses. If you were expecting anything other than what he did, then shame on you. You're not an adult in issuing critical thinking.
You talking to the?
That's all that was.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but to me, this has been a serious issue from day one.
Of course it has been.
It was a serious issue back on November 2nd, 2010, when it all kicked off. When she
a judge was disrobed and humiliated pretty much right for the world to see for the past 10 years. We watched them slowly, to keep up with the disrobe motif. We watched them slowly remove garments off this woman until they stripped her out naked and drug her to jail yesterday for the past 10 years. So yes, you're right in that, but it is what it is. So that's all I got. Everything that need to be said done already been said. It's a day later. We gotta let the emotions. Now that everybody's a little more level-headed, most of the emotion has been removed from the immediacy of it yesterday. Just it is what it is. I would like to see her out, but my position remains the same. And I'm not with. And I saw some stuff about economic boycotts and whatnot. But hey, let's not do it this weekend. Let these black businesses eat this weekend. No, fuck that. You want to be a part of the game? Welcome to the game. This is part of it. Sometimes you might not get to eat if we get jacked up. You know what I'm saying? Just like mama at home, she let her kids eat first, and she'll go starve. That's what this is. We got to sacrifice for the greater good. So if you're a black business at the little jammy jam this weekend, it is what it is if they boycott you.
Wouldn't it be more strategic to do it after this weekend, so you don't harm black businesses? It's just a thought.
I think it wouldn't have been. Well, no, I think it needs to be handled immediately.
Okay.
None of this qualification.
Okay.
Now with boycott, that reminds me of the scene in Panther. Remember the one dude, the construction worker, trying to sign up for the Black Panthers? He was like, "Yeah, but I can't protest all the time. I got a job." And Bokeem Woodbine's just looking at him crazy.
Right.
There could be no qualification. Either you in or out. 10 toes down, not 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Well, that's easy for you to say because you ain't got no business down there this weekend, or do you? You're not sacrificing. So I'm saying is, for the people that's invested in this weekend, black people that's invested in their businesses, that's going to be a little bit more complicated. It's easy for you to say.
Oh, well, it's just like this is just like when the waiter ain't happy with the tip they got. I didn't tell you to take that job. Choose a better vocation. Because one thing that's still hanging over Cincinnati, that's one thing. Yes, vocation. Yes, a job.
Choose a better vocation. Come on.
Yeah.
Man. That's not even,
one thing.
That's not
one
even
thing, Cincinnati. Okay, one thing that will hang over Cincinnati's head is the potential for economic boycott. If you get caught in the crosshairs, that's your business.
Okay. So you ain't, translation, you don't have no skin in the game. You're not going to get caught in the crosshairs. So talk slick and greasy and put the onus on somebody else. Got you.
Oh, no, I didn't get invited to go to the Jammy Jam or nothing like that. No, I didn't get invited to go down there and was going to go to Bat Sakes and buy another Kango. But I'm good. Why are you laughing? I'm dead serious. I was like, no, I'm good on that. I wouldn't have wanted to go anyway before all this. But this was like a week ago. I'm like, I'm straight.
I'm just saying. I reached out to J. Raj, man, because everybody knows that he's the founder of the Black Taste of Cincinnati, and they stand to be at ground zero for this economic boycott this weekend. So if he gives us, let me check my messages here, fam. I appreciate the flows, man. Anything else?
All right, man. Be safe. No.
Yeah, most def. Appreciate it. Superlative as always. Let me check my messages because I mean, you know me, I like to go straight to the source. And he seems to be in the path of the oncoming whatever. So he seems to be the person to talk. I know, but he's a very conscious brother at the same time. Like J. Raj is a real brother, right? And when I say that, I'm not saying I'm super close to him, but close enough to get to say this. I feel like he cares about his community. He cares about the black community. He cares about what's happening in Cincinnati. I can say that you could take that to the bank. Period. And now here he is in a position where, you know, his endeavor might suffer because of it. So I want to get his thoughts on it. Yeah, CG Dub, I'm going 8 a.m. all week. 8 a.m. all week to all listeners. I started 8 a.m. all week long. And this decision was made prior to the Tracie Hunter situation. Of course, we already knew it was going to be on Monday, but we didn't know how it was going to turn out. We had no idea as to how it was going to turn out. Let's go back to the phones here. More people or has Gabe Davis spoken out? Oh, thank you so much, Tanique. I appreciate it. Listen, your shares mean everything. Appreciate that. Yeah. Did Gabe Davis speak out within the last 24 hours? Joe Dieters asked DeWine to commute Tracie Hunter's sentence. This is from the Cincinnati Business Journal. So Joe Dieters is asking for the governor, his buddy Mike DeWine, to commute Judge Hunter's sentence. Interesting. You hear the latest on this? And Mike DeWine might do it. He may do it. He might do it. You know, I don't really like I don't really like DeWine's politics as I understand it. However, what I will say is that to his credit, that Mike DeWine isn't sort of like a straight up run down the line. It's just some issues in which he conflicts with the Republican mantra a bit. Maybe he'll be open to it because it's coming from the Hamilton County prosecutor, his good buddy, Joe Dieters. So Hamilton County prosecutor Joe Dieters asked Governor Mike DeWine to commute Tracie Hunter's 6 months jail sentence. Is that a political move to soften the blow? You know, black people are going to make a decision. Thousands of black people who vote in Hamilton County will be thinking about these issues in the upcoming Hamilton County prosecutor's race. Has Gabe Davis said anything? Let me go online here and see. Burdell, thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Look, one of the number one things you can do so I can grow this show and this platform is to share it. That's number one. The likes are great, but your shares are very, very important. So please share today's show and share it with a friend. Share it with a friend. Appreciate it. So let me go to Gabe Davis and see. So Joe Dieters asked DeWine to commute Tracie Hunter's sentence. What does that mean? Will he? Let's go to the phones here. Get another call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm sorry, this is Gladys. I was calling in about Tracie Hunter. Are you all still talking about that?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, this has just really been a lot for me to deal with. I understand this as a regular layperson, but this has been such a teachable moment for me. I have a daughter. She's 18 years old. She's going off to college, and she wants to be a CPA. She wants to study accounting, which is a field that is largely white, largely male. And so her and I have been having a lot of discussion about the Tracie Hunter incident, and I've been able to kind of relate it to her in regard to there are always going to be two different sets of rules. And I don't care what you see somebody else doing. I don't care. Do you see the way that they railroaded this woman for the most minor infraction? Now, whatever offenses she committed with regard to her brother and the paperwork, and, I heard something about backdating documents or whatever it was. In the grand scheme of things, the power that she had as a judge, what she could have done, and what other judges, have done, this is a very minor infraction. And do you see the way that they railroaded her? Now, I know your last caller was talking about the corrections officer and how we shouldn't come after her because she was just basically doing her job. But as a woman, as a black woman, I probably would have lost my job yesterday because you don't have a paycheck that you could give me that would justify me dragging this nonviolent woman, sister, out of this courtroom like a sack of potatoes. That was just, to me, the ultimate in disrespect. I understand that your job was to get her out of the courtroom, that you had to get her out of the courtroom, that you had a task and a duty that you had to perform, but there's a way that you could have done it with a little bit more dignity. There's a way that you could have done it that would have given that woman a little bit more dignity. If you need my arm to support you on your way out, if you need me to help you up, if you need me to give you a second before you get up, there's something that she could have done to, like you said, not burn that horrible image into the minds of our consciousness. Because seeing that black woman hauled away like that out of that courtroom was something that I will never forget. So another point I wanted to make really, really quickly, is that the postcards and the marches at the house, I do understand people's outrage, and I understand people's need to want to voice their opinion. I understand people's need to want to get out there and really say how they're feeling, but I feel like that it was just so counterproductive. I feel like that was very counterproductive. I feel like that didn't help our cause and our voice in this fight at all. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Tell me why you say that. Do you think it made things worse?
I think it absolutely did make things worse because with the powers that be and with the structures that we have in place, that does not help us. The way that we have to fight in this fight is with our votes. Number one, first and foremost, I feel motivated to register more people to vote. I actually printed some voter registration forms out on my printer, and I have them in my car, and I feel like I'm just going to be passing, handing, are you registered, have you changed your address, because I feel like black people, that is the biggest weapon that we have in this county that we underutilize. If I hear one more black person say to me, well, I don't vote because they're going to do what they want to do anyway, I could just vomit when I hear that. They're going to do what they want to do anyway because you are not getting out there to make your voice heard as a taxpaying citizen of this city and of this county. Yes, they're absolutely going to do what they want to do. That doesn't include you. That doesn't involve you making policies and procedures that will likely hurt you and your family because you just were too busy. You didn't have time. That wasn't important. You'll come out for every 4 years on a presidential election, maybe, if Obama is on the ticket. But these local races, these city races, these municipal court judges, these policies and these laws that they put in place that directly affect you. You don't have 20 minutes to go into a voting booth and research your candidates and see who aligns most closely with your morals and your values and what you want to see in the place where you live. I mean, I'm sorry. I hate to get off on a tangent about that. But going back to what I said about the people being counterproductive, use your vote. Register people to vote. Get people signed up. Educate people on the issues. Let people know what's at stake. Economically, I do agree with some sort of a boycott, but like you said and like you've been saying, there are a lot of black businesses, entrepreneurs who are counting on Jazz Festival weekend money, who have spent money in anticipation of making money this weekend, and I don't think cutting them out is the way to send a message. Your last caller was saying, listen, it's either all or nothing. Either, people get hurt in the process or don't. I don't agree with that. I don't subscribe to that theory at all. Black people in this city are becoming entrepreneurs and business owners and startups in ways that we have never seen before. So anything that's going to hurt them is hurting us collectively. So we have to fight with our vote. We have to fight with our economic power, and we have to mobilize in our own communities, in our own areas to You know, I understand them going out to march out there, but could you imagine if those same people were marching, you know, after a shooting or marching to register voters or mobilizing like that for something that actually can make a tangible difference? Tracie Hunter is not getting out of jail. Y'all are still marching. Those postcards, that was so whack. Why would you do that? Why would you send it to that man's house? I mean, sending it to the court, using your voice, using your First Amendment free protected speech to say, I don't agree with this, I'm a taxpayer, I think this is wrong, the sentencing was overkill. That is your right. That is your duty. But sending it to this man's home was out of line. It was out of pocket. It made it personal in a way that it didn't have to, even though he didn't have any power in this case and he was just, like you said, carrying out the sentencing. It still didn't do anything to, you know, help him do whatever he could have done. There maybe have been something that he could have done that he wasn't inspired to do because of that. There may be a softer tone he could have taken to it that he didn't take to it. So, you know, I feel like that hurt in the end. I feel like that was really counterproductive. But, you know, there's a lot of things that came out of this trial and a lot of ways that black people, I hope this was the biggest and best wake-up call that black people have in this city. Because we have been getting trampled on, we have been getting railroaded, we have been getting lied to, we have been getting the short end of the stick for decades because of the power structures that have been in power for decades down in Hamilton County. Now you see what they think about you. You see how they'll treat you. And now it's time for, like somebody else said, the marching, the praying, and the you know, laying on the hands. That's all cool and well and good. I'm not opposed to that. But now it's time to fight some fire with some fire.
Great flows. Great flows. Thank you so much for your call. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Have a great day.
I will. Thank you. Great flows. As we say, Racker, great flows. She was on point 100%. Do you agree? She said something about the marching outside of the Dinkelacker's house in his neighborhood last night. She said she thinks that's going to do more harm than good. Is there anyone who agrees with that? Do you agree? I'm sorry if I'm missing your comments. But whenever we go live, there are comments all over the place. So we're live on YouTube. We're live on Periscope. We're live in our Sin Digital Media page, New Urban Voice in Cincinnati, New Black Media. Black media matters. It matters. Okay? You can't trust. I mean, I think there's a world in which legacy media and independent media can coexist. But it's definitely necessary. If you haven't already done so, go over to Sin Digital Media on Facebook and like us there and check out what we have to offer. And she was so on point. She said, who sent the postcards? She felt like that did more harm than good. And maybe it did because of the man. You know, it didn't. Like if you're a judge, you're going to receive, and it's a hot case like that, you might receive something at your house. And I don't know the nature of the postcards. Were they of threatening nature? Or was it more like, hey, we just want to let you know how serious we are, we're concerned? I don't know. You never can tell. Sometimes the intent and the impact can be two completely different things. I respect the fact that there's an effort out there, but I do agree with her. Black people got to get smart. We got to get smart. And I'm here to tell you that there's a lot of very smart black people in Hamilton County. There's a lot of smart people. I personally believe that the image of Tracie Hunter being dragged out, which if you're following along on the screen right now, you can see it for yourself. I think the image of Tracie Hunter being dragged out is going to be burned into the consciousness of Cincinnati for a long time. Because everybody knows this was some BS. I mean, everybody knows that. Like, everybody knows that at the end of the day, this was some old political railroaded, you know, we out to get you kind of stuff. And Tracie Hunter, you know, she got caught up in the game. Everybody knows that. We all agree with that. But then there's the law. Right? The way things really go down. Right? Let me see here. I got the live screen up now, and you can kind of read some of the chat from YouTube. I see MDE writes, only way to freedom is death, but y'all not gonna do that, so shut the F up, he writes. So if you go to YouTube and you actually add comments on YouTube, they will come up on this particular screen right now. I just added a feature because I thought it might be something that might draw your eye. You know, just looking at this face ain't gonna do nothing for you. So so we can get even more interactive. And of course, you can subscribe to the audio version of the show at nathanivy.com, or you can go over to my YouTube channel, Nathan Ivy Show, and you can subscribe there. Make sure you hit the bell so you get an instant notification whenever we go live, which you can expect more of that. You can expect more of that. Only way to freedom is death, but y'all not gonna do that, huh? Sounds good. Sounds good. When I hear people say those kind of things, I always caution them. But again, if that's what you have to bring to the game, it is what it is, man. I'll let you deal with that. Not sure what you mean by that. Postcards or not, the sentence was still going to be handed down. That's Ron P. De Niro. Gladys writes the postcards was bringing a knife to a gunfight. C.L. Taylor writes, the lengths and depths to which some will go to is beyond words, she writes. Stephanie Summerall Dumas, who's a member of the Hamilton County Commissioners, she posts, the postcards were mainly about being a registered voters and the fact that he drove a car and killed a black woman in the past. Oh, boy. They had to bring that up. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, dear Lord. I don't know. That might not have been the greatest thing to bring up, but real is real. Dinkelacker did, in fact, have an accident where he killed a pedestrian. The family said that he was speeding. It all kind of got hushed up when information came out that the person who was dead, they actually ran a toxicology report on this person and found that there was allegedly some kind of drugs in their system and that the person was outside of the crossing lane. Well, that still doesn't mean that you can speed through the crossing lane, though. But let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. How are you?
I'm doing great. Who am I speaking with?
This is Iris Rowley.
Hey, Iris. I didn't catch your voice at first. Good morning to you.
No. Yeah, it's been a rough 10 years.
Yeah.
It's been a rough 10 years.
Yeah.
And I want fame and drop and to the sister who was just on the phone. Let me say this to you all. You don't know what in the world you would do if it were you. If you had orchestrated your life to be a servant in the way that Tracie Hunter did, to be a child advocate, go to law school, obtain a law degree, and then to win an election. And you said it absolutely correct. This is what bothers me about my people. And I'm going to stay on my people today. Facts matter. Facts matter. And if you followed the Judge Hunter case, you would realize that the facts of the matter are the budget, the power over the system, and the ability to change children's lives. She never said black children. She said all children, if you followed her, if you understood. If you've never been through the Hamilton County juvenile court system, and if you've not, I pray that you never have to. It is the worst system in the state of Ohio. Hamilton County is known to have a horrible juvenile court system. While this is about Judge Hunter, it's about all the things that Judge Hunter ran on, the restorative justice practices, the removal of shackles from children's feet when they're being transported to and from court and transported to and from the jail. This was about making sure that children had proper representation and that families were being rehabilitated and not just carceral enforcement. This was more than just her sitting on the bench. And if you don't deploy all of the tactics to remove the isms from a system that have the ability and the power and control to influence your life, if you don't deploy all the things that are available to you, then we will never see change. You privileged people that call the radio and call Nathan Ivy. If folks didn't fight the way that we've been fighting for the past 10 years for Judge Hunter and other things, you wouldn't have these privileges. At some point in time before your genius self was born, we couldn't communicate. We couldn't strategize and plan the way that we're able to do now. We take to these airwaves and we use these airwaves in vain. It is all about us and what we think about a situation. The removal of the facts, the removal that lady is a human being with a whole human-ass family, and the work that she was trying to do as the first black female judge in the Hamilton County existence alone lets you know the power and control that we don't have. So yes, sister girl, voting does work. But you have to get your people to the polls. You have to have reputable candidates that are going to serve your self-interest, not somebody else's. Nathan, I'm emotional today. I really am. Because yesterday what I witnessed in a courtroom I've never seen before. And if you weren't there and you didn't see it and you not stood with Judge Hunter for the past 10 years, because this ain't just been 5 years of fight, it's been 10 years. Follow it. Follow the facts. And don't speak about what you would have done. Don't speak about what she could have done. I've never seen them drag anyone out. I've seen people pass out in the courtroom many, many, many times before they either sit them on the floor, sit them in a chair, bring in a wheelchair, and wheel them out. Never. And then to allow the sister to drag her out was just the epitome of internalized oppression. If you've not talked to Judge Hunter and listened to the impact on her life and her career and what has been taken from her, don't do us a favor. Keep your opinion to yourself, because that's all that matters. It's just your opinion. Do us all a favor. Sister girl, we didn't write the postcards. You obviously don't know how the game is played. There are tactics to be deployed to make you think that black people did something and we had nothing to do with. It was simple. If you listen to Dinkleracker when he read the cards and he would read the end, God bless America, we don't write that. And then when he did read the cards, they all almost said the same thing. It didn't mean that black folks did it. So don't get twisted. Ask us. Or at least come to a damn meeting. We've been meeting every week for Judge Hunter. At least come and find out. Do something other than get here and just criticize. Do something. Get the facts. And you said, she was, the sister said she was accused of changing something. No, she wasn't. But, well, Kitty, did you listen to the trial when it came out that Judge Hunter had nothing to do with changing anything in any computer, and the fingerprints on it belonged to a white lady that sat in court, and they did not even bring charges up against her for changing the document? Judge Hunter had nothing to do with that. Get the facts, y'all. At least be armed with the facts. So when you go about your day, if you want to have an opinion, your opinion is based on fact. Drop you way somewhere. I don't even know where you are, dear brother. But please do me a favor. We're talking about someone's life here. We're talking about a judge. So please miss me with all these innuendos and what I think and feel, and get the facts, and let's deal with the facts, and then let's strategize on that. The very well orchestrated and designed boycott and sanctions that we leveled against the city of Cincinnati, and it's amazing how many people have something to say about that, but probably didn't have the balls to stand with us and wouldn't have the balls to stand today, but got a lot of opinion. We never boycotted a black business. Never. And that was our message. Always shop and buy black. Always. So there's a method to the madness, people. And it's more than just conjecture and innuendos. This woman sits in jail for a charge that's not really a charge. Her brother had been working for the juvenile court for 7 years before she got on the bench. Don't simply because you want to figure out how to make yourself feel better and justify the supremacy of what they've done, and you just want to go with it and say, she could have, she should have, she should have, she could have, she should have, she could have, she should have. Well, damn, she did. She ran a race legally, won the race legally, had to fight 18 months to get on the bench, and then once she got on the bench, she had to fight to stay, to keep her job, fight to do her job. Then she had to fight off 9 charges to fight for her life. People, today just is not the day. We need to figure out how we're going to be selfish about who we are and how we're going to get to where we need to go collectively. And if you don't want to be in the boat, if you want to be over there for their interests and you want to do it for somebody else, then stay over there. But let those of us who want to fight for our lives and for our children's lives, let us do it. Just let us do it. You don't have to make a comment about what you thought or think of. And you can come meet with us. We meet Nathan, you know. You can find me anywhere. You can find Nicole anywhere. You can find Sister V anywhere. You can find Reverend Lynch anywhere. Brother Fame, you couldn't walk in his shoes, dear brother. I appreciate you showing up, but you couldn't walk in Damon Lynch the third shoes. You couldn't. That brother has put himself out there for the greater of our good. So people, today just ain't the day for all this negative talk against each other and one another. Today ain't the day. And nor will the revolution be televised over it. The phone and the airwaves, folks. Our lives are at stake here. We are at war. Nathan, I listened to Judge Dinkelracker yesterday. And I listened to what the letter that Joe Dieter sent yesterday, which to suggest that the judge get a mental health evaluation. It was all egregious. It just never stopped. And it wasn't just directed towards her. It was a message to us all. It was a message to us all. Don't dare. How dare you run a race and win fair and square? Don't sue and win. And to say, if Judge Hunter had all these resources that you're talking about, because she's not been on the bench for 5 years, so how was she able to earn an income? Because once she was convicted, they took her law license. So how does she earn an income? What resources are you talking about? The people that support her, that are giving and trying to help, her attorneys who've been working pro bono? This particular case, you know how much the county has spent? Nobody's ever asked how much of their tax dollars have gone into persecuting her.
Millions, over $2 million.
Over and way over that. And I have the paperwork to show it. I got a check sent to Croswell for $450,000. That's just one. Plus the $330,000, plus another $11,000, plus another $12,000 plus. And you're talking about racking. Let's really talk about what racking is. And it ain't just the flows on the airwaves, because folk are intentionally feeding their friends and people.
You're talking about racking.
Y'all ain't
money.
Talked about it.
You're talking about stacking that money.
Racking. Come on. So the county, we went to the county commissioners last week, and what they could verify, and they weren't even talking about investigations and legal filing, all these things that are attributed to court cases. They were already at 2.1 and still paying Croswell. Croswell is still on the payroll. So you want to do something, call your county commissioners and tell them to stop paying this shit. And we're not even talking about or added in the amount of money the state has spent to help prosecute her. We've not even seen the amount that Joe Dieter's used from the asset forfeiture dollars. You want to talk about asset forfeiture dollars, and y'all want to talk about what a church got. Let's talk about the millions he used there. So don't be twisted up in your own little feelings and your own inability to see that there really are people in place to create a narrative to make you believe things are going on like they say they are. And they have the power and control to control your mind, your behavior, your thought. That we can get on here and try to vilify a sister. We're talking about a nonviolent, even if it was a charge, a nonviolent charge, and y'all saying do 6 months like it's,
like it's nothing.
I don't know.
Like it's
nothing. I don't want to go to jail.
6 months any day. Like, hey, no big deal. It's just 6 months.
Yeah, just go do 6 months. Who fucking writes a passage is that? Excuse me. That type of thinking is what our babies are thinking. I can go do that, Miss Cyrus. That's what the babies tell me that I see in unofficial juvenile court that I've been participating in, volunteering for the past 8 years. I don't know what the rest of y'all are doing. But to say that simply like that is insane to me. So I'm pleading with us today. I'm asking for some damn mercy. We've got to stop doing this. There is no justification to what happened with Judge Tracie M. Hunter. You cannot justify it. You cannot. You just cannot. And to try to justify an attack, a well-orchestrated attack against one sister trying to make some change, to use all of your tax dollars like they have. The county, I said it to the county, you're in a deficit. We're short affordable housing, not to talk about Hamilton County Jobs and Family Services and all the issues that they have, not to talk about all the things they're trying to do around the opioid crisis. But yet and still, we won't even talk about the 2.1 that they've spent and allowing Joe Dieters. And you know what they told us, Nathan? I wish you could have made this meeting. But they really can't tell Joe Dieters what to do. But we can. Ethically, they can't do it. Legally, they can't do it. His office sits up on a perch, and he has all the power and control to do what he just did. The last thing I want to say, Nathan, and I know I'm crisscrossing drunk drive a little bit because I am emotional. Because I'm wondering how my dear sister is doing locked behind bars this morning. I'm wondering what her state of mind is and what she's feeling and thinking. But the last thing I want to say, Nathan, is that, it's okay to stand up, y'all. It's okay to fight back. It's okay to speak out against oppression. It's okay to challenge the people that are in office. It's okay to have a voice. Because if that didn't happen, we wouldn't be right here today, being able to talk. Because somebody fought for us. Somebody sacrificed for us. Somebody put their lives on the line for us. Somebody died for us. So let's not take that in vain. Let's take that and put that to use, y'all, in service to what Judge Hunter ran for, in service to changing the very system that she won the election to change. Let's work on that. I think Judge Hunter would be proud of us if we did that. Let's do that. Let's follow her very giant footsteps and try to help change the system. Instead of talking all out of our head, being judgmental, not having the grace and love for one another that we need to have, not being selfish enough to say we matter. We matter. And if you want to know what we're doing, come on, meet with us, because it ain't over. We ain't done. We still got a little more to do. We got some work to do, but we sure could use some more soldiers with some heart, some backbone, and some self-determination. Brother Nathan, I appreciate you dearly. I'm quite sure somebody will call in and give an update over Judge Hunter. Let me say this. Damon Lester III didn't see her yesterday because we needed to know that her physical self was okay. Her mental self isn't okay. Her spiritual self isn't okay. Her emotional self isn't okay. She takes care of her mother. She's worried. So I'm just asking us today, please, let's give one another some grace. And let's come together and figure out what is it that we want to do and what we want to have done and how we going to fit in without the judgment and the vitriol that it's just too much. It was enough in the courtroom. I would challenge everybody to listen to what Judge Dinkelwacker said yesterday. He wasn't just talking to Judge Hunter, he was talking to all of us. So don't think you are excluded. You're part of the team too, simply because you got melanin in your skin. With that, Nathan, I'm gonna tap out. Y'all try to have a powerful day.
All right, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Very emotional, Iris Rowley, and appreciate those flows. She said, "Y'all talking about Rackham? Who got paid? Who got paid? Who made the money? Right? That's what really matters. That's who really got off. Right? That's where the money, where is it at? Here it is again. Let me put that graphic back up. Who got paid to prosecute Tracie Hunter? Millions of our tax dollars went in the overall prosecution of Tracie Hunter. And whether you think that she was guilty or not, I'm just asking from a community level as a taxpayer, longtime, lifelong Hamilton County. Was that the best way to use $2 million of our money? There needs to be an analysis. I talked to a black female lawyer the other day, and when she heard the amount of money that was given to the lawyers to prosecute Tracie Hunter, she said that she could have done it with a fraction of that overall amount. So where'd all that money go? Were Hamilton County taxpayers overbilled in the prosecution of Tracie Hunter? Does it really take $2 million to prosecute a case of that particular nature? Was this a way to take taxpayer money and give it to your friends and cronies under the guise of trying to do the right thing and set a great example? Got to watch the game. She also implied that perhaps those postcards were not written by the community. Maybe somebody wrote some extra ones talking about God bless America. Well, I mean, I didn't read them, so I don't know. I will say that this is just an ugly image. This is just an ugly image here in Cincinnati. This image of Tracie Hunter being led away in a way that I think is, in my opinion, I think is dehumanizing. But led away, and now what? Now what? A lot of passion, man. There's a lot of different opinions about this, but I'd love to hear yours. 513-873-7134. I'd love to hear your opinion this morning. And if you want to share it, please feel free to do so. All I ask is that you open your mind before you open your mouth. That's it. You got my number. Now, if you've been calling in, you know, I'm a one-man operation as of yet, but got a lot of plans to grow and expand. But as of yet, I'm a one-man operation, so I'm taking one call at a time. If you called in and you didn't get a response, that was because I was on the air. But the line is now free right now. If you want to chime in, we got a call on the line. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Nathan.
Hey, what's going on?
Fine. This is Special K.
Hey, what's up, Special K?
Fine. I'm just working. To Irish Rowley, that was powerful. You couldn't do anything but listen. What happened yesterday was a tragedy, and I was listening to another radio station, and I hate to call her out, but I'm going to do it. What is her name? I can't think of it. But a lady called in, and she said, well, my family is on the way into town, and they just want to have fun. And it kind of irked me a little bit. And I called and I said, this isn't the time to have fun. We've got a racist president in the White House. He's attacking 4 women of color. Now we have this with Tracie Hunter being sentenced like she was. This isn't the time to have fun. Now, I have tickets to the festival, but I'm not going to go. My girlfriend was coming in from out of town. I called her yesterday when the verdict went down. I was like, you know what? This isn't the time to go down there. So I'm not going to go. Now, to the businesses or to the people who are going, all I would say is this. Eat before you go to the stadium. Drink before you go to the stadium. I understand you already paid your money for the tickets, whatever. But there's a way to still impact that concert this weekend. I know there's going to be a lot of black vendors down there. Spend your money with them. Instead of parking downtown, which you know the parking is going to be $20 to $30 on up, catch an Uber ride down there. Have somebody to drop you off. Don't park your car down there. If you still choose to go. I'm not going to go. I don't want to go. I have lost complete interest. And I pray that Tracie Hunter is okay. I pray that she gets through this. And I pray and hope that she comes out even more stronger than when this all started. But to Iris Rowley, that was powerful. That's all I have to say.
Special K, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Take it easy.
Bye.
Yeah, Iris did. I think it was so powerful because it was her passion. And everybody knows that Iris is out here. She's about that life. And she's been about that life for a long time. And I always, since I've been in broadcasting, have to respect the people who I see out there doing it. And I see these brothers and sisters. And I see these strong black women out here. They've been on the front lines. I've heard the stories, the horror stories of how their businesses and their professional life has been affected. Just going back 20 years. Talk to these brothers and sisters. I got nothing but respect for them, period. Let's go back to the show, back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. This is Synovia Binding.
Hey, Synovia. Good
I'm
morning.
with WAIF.
Hey.
And I was just listening to what happened to Miss Hunter yesterday, Judge Hunter, and it is sad. But, let's keep it 100. As I would say on my show at I Hear You, is that, we're saying that, okay, people, you bought your tickets, don't go, stand up for justice. But, we've been doing this for so long. And, when we, keeping it 100, a lot of people be like, well, I already paid my money for my tickets. I understand and I feel sorry, but, let's pray about it and things like that. But we should pray because, God's getting control. And I'm sure Judge Hunter, I do know her, and she is definitely has faith in the Lord. God's going to take care of it. We are in distress all over the country right now. We got so much stuff going on. This is just another notch in the belt. So, to tell everyone, don't go down, spend your money, so what, stay home. Let's keep it 100. That's not going to happen. But we just need to keep on praying because, there is power in God and there is strength. And for those who won't go, praise God to you. Do what you do. Okay, but let's just keep it 100. That's not going to happen. But we need to keep on believing and have faith in the Lord and send our prayers out to Judge Hunter. She is strong. She is powerful, and she's all that. And Ms. Rowley, yes, she is powerful. And I do praise God for her because leaders like that is what our young children are looking up to. So all we can do is just keep on walking, keep on praying, and keep on trusting. And that's just what I wanted to say. But thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. WAIF. Oh, man, what radio was meant to be. Man, I'm going to have to start tuning in, man. So many great programs over there. Love my folks at WAIF, man. This city is better because of it. Well, if you're actually following along and watching a video stream, wherever you may be, number one, thank you. Here's a question for you. Are you going to boycott the Cincy Music Festival this weekend? Are you going to boycott? I'm hearing it more and more. Let's just get straight to it. And I'm going to reach out to J. Raj again, try to get him on the show tomorrow or sometime this week. I want to talk with Jason Dunn as well with the Visitors Bureau and the Vibe Weekend events. Again, I know both these brothers, and these are serious brothers, and they care about their community. And right now, they're in the line of fire, so to speak, because both of them are directly instrumental in the events that you're going to hear this weekend. And as a matter of fact, the Nathan Ivey Show is proud to be another year being a digital sponsor with the Vibe events. You might have seen some of the branding for the Nathan Ivey Show up and out. Maybe you didn't. So I definitely want to help promote what they're doing this weekend. And it's a serious question. It's a very serious question. I've got my opinion, but I'm much more interested in your opinion. Are you going to boycott the Cincy Music Festival this weekend? Why not? And don't feel shy if you're like, nah, I'm not. Hey, that's you. Be you. You're no less black, in my opinion. And if you're somebody who's like, yeah, I am going to boycott. I think I read that at least one of the choppers said, I think it was Angela said that she's not going to spend any money this weekend. I totally respect it. I respect it. The stance that people take, whatever it might be, even if it's contrary to mine, depending on what the issue is, because some things are just wrong. But on this particular issue, that's difficult because this happens on Monday. And you got to know that the folks behind the Cincinnati Music Festival and the Vibe events, they got to be like, oh, my God, what's going on here? What's going on here? But I would do my due diligence to promote what's going on whether it's conscious, boycott, or the events as well. Because I think there's going to be a multitude of opinions. That's a tough one right there. That's a real tough one, because part of me feels like, okay, can I go to the event and just make more of a concerted effort to make sure I spend my money only with black people? Right? Because if you spend your money with black vendors, black owned businesses, whether it might be a food truck or they're renting a food truck for the weekend so they can do the events, is that harming the overall effort against Tracie Hunter? The effort to support Tracie Hunter. So if you go downtown and buy some chicken wings from Conscious Kitchen, you're spending your money with black owned businesses, but yet there's an element of the community saying there's an economic boycott. What do you do? Pardon me. That's a tough one. That's a tough one for some people. For some people, it's like, it is what it is. But for others, man, that's a tough one. But what do you think? Are you going to boycott the Cincy Music Festival this weekend? And who got paid off of the prosecution of Tracie Hunter? Follow the money. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Nathan, this is Sister V. How you doing?
Hey, Sister V. Good morning. How you doing?
Good. I'm not well. I've seen better days, and you have to excuse my voice. I'm not going to stay on long. I just want to tell you all that, the struggle never ends for our people. Everything we've ever gotten, we've had to fight for it. And when you hear Hunter's story, for black people, it's a struggle to put their family and their children through school. And when you make it that far and you've gotten that degree, it means something. It means something. What I want people to know and focus on also is the fact that no black judge has ever had that seat. In addition to that, the person that reigned supreme over the juvenile court system was Sylvia Hendon. You remember that name? Do you remember that name?
Yes,
Nathan?
I do. Yes, I do. Yeah.
Judge Sylvia Hendon. She reigned through that court for years. And what people need to understand is not just follow the money, but follow the relationships. Knowing that she is his ex-mother-in-law. And, and that was more recent, that he and his wife were divorced. And so they believe, because of 114 years, this is how it's run, and you will acquiesce to it. And this was, how dare you try to make it to where we are, because we run this. And so we have to stop kowtowing. At what point are we going to stop and get ourselves organized and stop coming at each other? I hear the criticism of what the quote-unquote supporters should have or should not done. But at the same time, people have to ask the question, you knew this was going on and this was a 10-year battle. So the question is, what have you done besides peep at the news flashes every now and then, which they put that out there that there's something mentally wrong with her. It's kind of like a cop who shoots an unarmed man who runs back and says, oh, by the way, he had a car accident 2 years ago. Do you understand? This is not new, what they do to us. What I'd like to tell people, whether you're boycotting or not, we know that within the next few days, there's not much of an impact that any call for a boycott is going to have on what's already in motion. And God bless J. Raj. That brother is conscious, and he's going to do what he needs to do to help not only support the supporters of Hunter, and at the same time, there's a delicate balance that he has to move forward on. What we are asking people or pleading with people, stay out of those restaurants down there. People are giving some good suggestions. Eat before you go, drink before you go. But we are asking people to stay out of those restaurants down there. Please support your black vendors if you're going to be down there. Have fun. Stretch out. It's cool to do that because we need to. Lord knows I need it right now. But we also are saying be conscious and aware of what's going on. And I will say that the observation, if you all look at the tape of the of the sheriff who grabbed her, if you look at it, I rewound it a couple of times and looked at it because things were happening fast. She did not have to do that. Even if she needed to take a moment or stand by her and let her take a moment to gather herself. She didn't have to do what she did. So we do have black people, in my opinion, who are suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. They want to identify so much with their white counterparts, or they're married to the blue, or they're married to the uniform. And that's why I texted into the shop her name, because I wanted to know who she was. I think a name needs to be put with that, because people need to understand that optics is everything. And we've seen this many times before in slavery, where they put us up against each other. And so I'm going to get off the phone because I've been trying to save my voice. It's been a long 30 days of being out here and talking to people and yelling and screaming and trying to get the point across. And it is doing damage to my voice, but I just want to tell the people, please, let's love up on each other a little bit more and understand that if there are pieces of this you don't get, reach out so that you can get those pieces. What Joe Dieters did today, yesterday, and putting that letter out, it's almost like you started the fire. Now you're going to come as some savior. It's a little bit too late for that. And then says, oh, I didn't have anything to do with it. Follow the relationships. One of those attorneys represented him with going through his divorce, and the other one represented him when he was got in that trouble up in Columbus. These are not outside attorneys. These are friends of his. Y'all got to understand the relationships as well as following the money. And why would this county take, actually the numbers are higher than 2.5 million. Why would you take that kind of money? That was a message. And we got to get it. So don't attack her supporters for getting out here and saying we will not stand for this kind of injustice. Don't attack us. And don't attack the others who are out here, that have been out here fighting the mighty fight. Look very closely at what has just been done. And I thank you for giving me the time, Nathan, and we will be able to talk to you all more about this in the future, okay?
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sister Fee. Thank you for everything you're doing to rest your voice. Hope you feel better. Out there, hey, that's what it is. That's what it sounds like. So if you're not following a stream, like I said, this is Cincinnati's most interactive show, period. Hands down. And there are so many great opinions. I want to say it again. We are the best of all the talk radio audiences. The Nathan Ivey Show, the Choppers, are highly motivated, highly intelligent individuals who are not just about talk. The people that listen to this show on a regular basis are about action. They are highly motivated. They are entrepreneurs. They are scholars. They are highly active people in our community. Plus, they love talk radio, and they love some great flows. Highly, highly intelligent individuals. So, and also very, very, creative and humorous as well. So I want to make sure that people who are not inside of the chop shop, on Spreaker, that they can still see some of the comments that people have been posting. So I've been posting some of the comments on our live stream. Check it out. For now, let's go back to the phones. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great. Who am I speaking with?
This is Brian, and the reason for my call is I've been listening to the reaction following I would say the spectacle that happened yesterday, and I think we can all agree that sentence was not fair. It was excessive. It was an ugly scene. But the problem that I have, and I've had for a long time with a lot of the, I say so-called, but I'm not saying that to be, funny, leadership in the urban community, is that the reactions are all over the place and unorganized. And I'll take this for example. The city of Cincinnati and Hamilton County, yes, the city of Cincinnati is within Hamilton County, but those are two separate governments. City of Cincinnati's government, led by Mayor Cranley and other councilmen, has come out against what happened to Miss Hunter. The majority of the black population in this county lives within the city of Cincinnati, lives, shops, does everything within the city. The majority of those judges who work for Hamilton County and the prosecutor's office live outside the city of Cincinnati. So if you protest the city of Cincinnati, which the leaders have spoke out against this, you're not hurting the people who did this to her. You go downtown this weekend, you're spending money within the city. The city provides service to its residents, which 40, almost 50% of them are black. You're taking money out of their pocket. You're telling us to go out to the suburbs and spend money in which we don't live. How does that help anything? The only way we're going to change the way that happened yesterday is those get out the vote efforts in off-cycle elections when those judges are running. Any other way is not going to work. It's going to continue to be reactionary. And I compare that to the FC Cincinnati thing as well. For years, my mom grew up in the West End, the 60s and 70s. She told me back when I was young in the 90s, that all this is going to get bought up and it's going to be changed. There was a pastor back in the 70s, and I can't remember the name. She told me who said this. This was common knowledge, but yet nobody is preaching ownership to anybody in these communities. So every time that something comes around where Children's Hospital is buying this property or such and such is buying this property, we're always caught with our pants down because we're never proactive in doing anything, and it's frustrating. And this, until we learn, and as a community, to be proactive, like in these other vibrant black cities like Atlanta, Dallas, and Houston, which are in the middle of the Jim Crow South, which has representation at the county, not only the city level but the county level, and you see these black judges, black prosecutors. I mean, when's the last time you seen a black assistant prosecutor? I know they're not elected; they're hired by the prosecutor, but prosecuting these cases, you don't see many, and people don't realize how much power that office has. From keeping a young black, male who may have got in trouble his first time from spending a year in prison or having 6 months on probation, or the prosecutor lowering the charge and getting a deal where he has 6 months probation, and he or she may have an opportunity to get that record expunged in the future so they can get that job after they learn that lesson. I mean, it's small things that we don't do which lead to these big problems, and we just sit here like, oh, woe is me. I mean, it's frustrating to me, and that's all I had to say.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the call. Brother says, listen, let's come up with some alternatives, some different ideas, a different way of attacking this. I got no problem with it. Sounds great to me. It sounds absolutely great to me. And he says something about, black assistant prosecutors. How much of that is an issue that needs to be alleviated, in your opinion? All right, let me see here. There it is. If you're on the screen, just some more of the comments from inside the Chop Shop. If you haven't already done so the Nathan Ivey Show originally was an audio and still will be an audio podcast. And if you go to nathanivey.com, you can go directly to my Spreaker link and you can subscribe there. So what does that mean? That means that you should get a notification when we go live. Now, as I'm fleshing out and moving more and more into the video world, we've now developed a YouTube channel, Nathan Ivey Show. You can subscribe there and check it out as well. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. If you want to transform your brainwaves into internet talk radio waves this morning, it's pretty easy to do so. And I'm like 400 behind on the comments. I'm not going to be able to make it all the way up. I know some people have some difficulties getting through. Tanika writes, as a non-criminal, I couldn't imagine 1 day in jail, let alone 6 months. Forget a limp. I would have full out passed out, period. Yeah, I mean, I didn't read that. People were saying like, oh, only 6 months. I mean, that's easy for you to say. That's easy for you to say. Only 6 months. That's a long ass time. For people in that lifestyle, 6 months is, as an earlier caller said, man, it's a little vacation time. Get your body right, get your mind together. Go in there, get your six-pack together, you know what I'm saying? Come back out, hit the streets again. For professional folks that don't live in that world, man, that's a nightmare. And then who's taking care of your affairs while you locked up? Because the bills, they keep rolling in. They keep rolling in. Terrible. Let me jump around here, and I got lots of comments to read through. If I missed your comment, it is not personal. I'm just trying to pick and choose here things that catch my eye. These niggas that be calling is stupid. That's King Cobla. Thank you for that, King Cobla. You just narrowed it down right there. Mason Marler writes, isn't it amazing that some folks always seem to find a way to be empathetic and sympathetic to the other side? What am I missing? Let me see. Mila writes, people really don't vote for judges. They don't pay attention. They don't do their research. That's facts. That's right. Now, the Democrats put together a serious effort in the last election cycle to get their slate of candidates moving forward, and it moved the needle. And you got folks like Erica, what is her name? Is it Erica with an E? It's not Norwood, is it? And black female. I know she ran last time, but she didn't have the Democratic endorsement. Perhaps she'll have it this time. I agree with you. People don't focus on it until it's after the verdict. And it's too late then. By then, it's over with. Iris writes, you couldn't walk a day in Damon Lynch's shoes. She said that about Fame. Fame was talking shit about Damon Lynch. I get it, man. You know, the young generation, younger folks, they looking at the old guard like, y'all ain't doing nothing. Same old thing. Here we go just marching again. Fuck all that marching. We want to do something real. I feel you. Cerinthy writes, to hear the float boat sail with Cunningham and all the naysayers and GPS plus all the black folks making light of the verdict turned my stomach. I disconnected yesterday because of it. If black folks ever had justice yesterday, it was a miscarriage of it. See, I missed all of that. Let me see more of your comments here. Cerinthy writes, yesterday they threw Gertrude in the box, public chastening for any black that goes against master. Tell me how you really feel. Cincy Tigers writes, agreed, it should begin this weekend. You can still intentionally support black business. You can also watch every other dollar you plan to spend, no thing, for Hamilton County. You know what? I'm in a point in my life, and I'm sure I'm just like a lot of people. I'm already watching every dollar. I got 2 kids. I'm already watching every dollar. $5 is a big purchase to me. That means a whole lot. I'm already intentionally spending my money as much as I can with black folks. So, yeah, there's a way for you to do it. You know, if you wanted to, you could, use black Uber drivers. You got 2 minutes to decide whether you want to cancel or not. So there's a way to do anything. It's just about whether you want to do it or not. Angela writes, we should have been supporting black business before this weekend. Well, I do. I know many of us already do. I mean, this weekend it's just another opportunity for me. It ain't the first time or the beginning of it. It's just another extension of, how a lot of people view their black dollars. I told you guys last year, what I love about it is I like recycling my black dollars with black-owned restaurants. I love that. So let me see who's going to be here this weekend that nobody's going to go see, because I know they got a bunch of concerts set up as well for the vibe. And if you don't go, you're going to miss all of that. You're going to miss all of that. Cerinthy writes, it was a public whooping for Hunter. They could have been done that beforehand. They humiliated this woman for sport, shits and giggles. Right. Cerinthy is so right. It was for sport, shits and giggles. Yeah, it was just for sport. It was just because the man who was driving the prosecution turns around within the last 20 hours and says that he's going to reach out to the governor to get her sentence commuted. Well, if you feel that way about her, then why did you press the prosecution button on her in the first place? To teach her a lesson and to send the message to the next one. Don't come over here to juvenile court judge asking us questions, talking about what you're going to do and what you're not going to do, talking about the system is biased, talking about the way we do things. Don't do that. And it's going to work. It's going to work with some people. With people who at the end of the day have a coward's heart, it don't really matter what the motivation is not to make a move. It's always going to affect them. For people who are born with a natural warrior spirit and they don't go out like that, it'll give them something to think about. And maybe it will direct their moves a little bit differently. But it might spark a flame in them. We'll see. Angela writes, hell yeah, it's a political move. The overseer having mercy on the abused and mistreated Negro. It's like, he hurt you. Oh, dear Lordy, 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 oh, Lord, what you gonna do? Thank you so much. Let me double check again here because I did reach out. I want to see if we can get some of these brothers on the show. I got crazy messages coming into the show, which means that people are really responding to the stream in a positive way, which is great. But again, I'm going to reach out to J. Ross to see if we can get him on the show this week and get his thoughts. What does he think about it? Mike Jones writes, the Willie Cunningham white males and females in this city are racist as hell. She writes, LW should withdraw Dieter's invite and ask Gabe to come on, but he won't. Well, he should have, if it were me, if I had the Hamilton County prosecutor come on my show, it would be a very different, it'd probably be his most toughest interview ever. Because nobody ever challenges Joe Dieters. You know what I'm saying? Because most people, because it's like this, and here's what you got to do. If you challenge Dieters too much, he won't come on your show. But I don't really care about Dieters coming on the show, except for that one time. And then have Gabe on afterward. Okay, that would be interesting. Somebody writes, indeed gloating. Yes, I heard just a little bit of that, as much as I can stomach, but I don't want to hear all that nonsense. People gloating off the demise of this black female. I don't want to hear that. I got better things to do with my day. That doesn't brighten my day. I'm sorry. Mila J writes, I'm sorry, Tracie should have walked. Mila writes, I think I read that already. I agree. I disagree. What do you think no justice, no peace means? It means no peace. Not even at home. It was a lawful protest. Fuck dude. Mike Jones writes, drop this particular weekend brings in more money for the county than any other event all year. We hurt them in the pockets. Money talks. Save our money and use it to uplift businesses in our community. I love all of that. And as Sister Vita said, I don't think it's enough time to really organize something like that. And then even if you did organize something like that, what's the overall ramification? So you go down and you boycott the black event. I think it would be better if you're going to boycott, it would be to take black people's money away from non-black events. I think that's what I would think. Is the Cincinnati Music Festival a black event? I would say so. See here. It's like crazy comics coming in. Angela writes, damn Nate, you everywhere. Angela writes, did sitting in at the lunch counters cause more harm than good? Those weren't black-owned businesses. Did the Montgomery bus boycott cause more harm than good? No, I mean, we knew there was more good than harm, but Montgomery bus boycott wasn't black-owned. That's what I'm saying. This weekend is a little bit different because you're talking about a black event. You know, these are events that were put on by black men that most of us have some idea. We know them or we are aware of them. And that's Jason Dunn with the Cincinnati Visuals Bureau. And he put on the Vibe events, and they're going to be promoting events on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They got people coming in talking about tourism and all kinds of stuff. I will be out and about. And then, of course, you've got the Black Taste of Cincinnati. Now, this was the Taste of Cincinnati. Okay, I feel a little differently about it, but this is the Black Taste of Cincinnati. I'm just saying, I mean, let's think about this. Angela writes, the postcards were benign. Well, we'll never know. I don't know. He brought them up. Dinkerlacker brought up the postcards like, you're not going to intimidate me. So that's the way he took it. He took it like people were trying to intimidate him. And he wasn't going down for that. He wasn't going for that. It's like, nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing none of that. See here, more of your comments coming in. Fame writes, has anyone at Dink's house, was anyone at Dink's house there long enough for the Negro bed wench to tell y'all to go home? ? She came out like, I live on this street. Y'all gonna head on with that shit. What? What? The caller is trying to the white supremacist playbook, which has never worked. Disruption is key. Do you remember the Montgomery boycott drop? To say that they never worked is false. I agree that is false. There are multiple strategies that need to be employed: voting, boycotts, education, etc., etc. Tanika writes, if Rosa Parks had the same mentality that some of us have, we would still be sitting on the back of the bus. Sheesh. Wake up, people, she writes. That's from Spreaker. Let me go on Facebook and see who is posting on my stream there. Hold on one second there. Yeah, because I know there's people on Facebook who are leaving comments, and I haven't read those comments. Let me read some of those as well before we roll out of here this morning. Man, it's a lot going on. We've ended up talking about Tracie Hunter for the entire time. I did not anticipate that. Tracie writes, Shannon Browner writes, he took them postcards personal and brought his feelings into the courtroom. I thought that was bogus as hell. Tracie writes, who cares about those postcards to Dankalacker? Robert writes, for all the DJs and entrepreneurs and black-owned business owners, I hope y'all do well. The timing of that verdict sucks. Make that money. Damon George writes, I support Tracie Hunter. I'm participating in the festivities. I will be DJing on a square and attending the concert. I've committed and have, I just lost your comments there, but I know DJ, he says he's committed and he's got contracts. Right, that's late. These people are contractually obligated at this point. You know, we expect them to sever their contracts. That wouldn't be smart. I mean, obviously, you got to play that hand all the way out. Dave Ray, I'm sorry, I can't keep up with these comments that are coming in so fast. If I missed it, I'm sorry. Dave Ray writes, I won't boycott the event, but next year I just won't go downtown, period. And looking with my third eye, that's what they want too. Steve writes, personal vendettas, right. This was some personal vendettas. Like I told you, Alex Triantafilou, we were having a conversation. It was during the break and during the commercial break. And he just confided in me and said it, I got a personal issue with Tracie Hunter. I looked at the man like, personal? How could you, what, did she hurt you? Did she hurt your little ego? Is that what it is? And we're seeing the extents of white male power. This is what this is. This is white male power on display. It's the white male power of media personalities to project the narrative out there. It's the white male power that controls traditional media in Cincinnati. Most of your media sources in Cincinnati are, at the end of the day, controlled by non-black people. Your favorite radio station, at the end of the day, the decisions that's being made is not being made by black people. Okay? The Nathan Ivy Show, of course, is different. Sin Digital Media and our podcasts are different. We black owned. It's black folks that make the decision about what we talk about, the standards that we set, the values that we project, the issues that we champion. It's people look like me. Hell, it's me. You know what I'm saying? So, there's going to be a difference in that. And there's a very profound difference, but it's white male power. If you look at it from the very beginning, right? The white male power in the Democrat Party with the former Hamilton County, leader of the Democrat Party, Tim Burke. This is from the mouth of Judge Tracie Hunter herself. This is what she said. The white male power in the Republican Party that didn't want her to take over, including Joe Dieters to this very day. And then you're going to have a black female drag her out. Y'all need to quit, man. Y'all need to quit. Pretty Kitty writes, I'm broke anyway. Oh, man. He says, you broke anyway. Randall writes, how many of the black events in the city are benefiting black-owned businesses? How much of the 80 million will be touched by us? That's from Randall. Great points, man. People making some excellent points this morning. I really appreciate you being here with me. I typically rock from about all week long. We'll be going live at 8 a.m. all week long. And I'm not just here to talk about the problems. I have a possible solution for you that I'll be sharing with you as the week unfolds. So if you're outraged about this and you want to move in a way that's non-traditional, I have a plan for you, and you might want to get on board if you want to change some things in the very near future. Okay, this is long-term strategy, but in the very near future, I think that we can have an impact in the upcoming election. If you're sick to death about what you saw happen to Tracie Hunter and you're wondering, what can we do? I got an idea for you. Keep listening. I'll be back with you 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Diana writes, I hate to talk about the dead, but Kimball Perry played a part in this. Kimball Perry, white male, he did play a part in this in terms of his aggressiveness, the vilification. He damn near, through his reporting, reduced Tracie Hunter into just a thing. She was nothing more than a news story. It was almost like, she was some kind of peculiarity, right, that needed to be studied. And I remember speaking with Tracie Hunter about 3 weeks ago on my show when she brought up Kimball Perry and just talked about how he had made her feel very uncomfortable. But Kimball Perry was the tip of the media spear. Okay, like I said, local media made a lot of money off of Tracie Hunter. Look, we're talking about it now. Throughout the day, your favorite, media platforms locally will be talking about it. Okay, so there's definitely a value in what Tracie Hunter has brought to the game. But just look at it. Look at everything. From a taxpayer, whether you're white or black, you got to be outraged at the insane amount of money that was spent in the overall prosecution of this woman. $2 million? I mean, $2.5 million for what? Number one, there should be an analysis as to how that money was actually spent. And number two, we should ask ourselves whether that's what we really value. She gave her brother a piece of paper, and she made a credit card purchase of $250. Meanwhile, Hamilton County committed far less money into the overall prosecution of Ray Tensing, who killed a man who was unarmed and afraid. Jacqueline, thank you so much for the share. We got a lot of shares today. Thank you so much. That's going to allow the show to really be seen by a lot of people, and I really appreciate it this morning. Thank you for being here. Again, there's no way for me to get in all the comments. There's just no way. Hold on, I'm getting a message here, text message from somebody in the community here. Let me check this out before we roll out of here. Oh, man, absolutely. We can definitely, hold on a second here. We can definitely connect. What is this here? Oh, Dan Hills. Oh, boy. Dan Hills, huh? Who was this from? Who was this from? There was some chants outside the home of Judge Dinkerlacker yesterday. Our collaborative partner, in quotations to be sarcastic, Iris Rowley, was there and broadcasting on Facebook Live. This lady is treated as though she is a partner in the city's quest to improve police and community relations. Her presence in the collaborative makes it appear as a scam because Iris is a con artist. What? Calling judges and police racist and intimidating a public official by going to his home to protest is not in the spirit of collaboration. Iris is going to do what she wants. That's what, activist agitators do, but this is what she is, an agitator, not a partner. Wow. Apparently they want to start, she is bolstering agitators like Iris and, hold on, wait. This is quite interesting. Let us all tell the mayor, city council, and the city manager that this is the last straw. Stop bolstering agitators like Iris and Bishop Bobby Hilton. Bishop Bobby Hilton suggested yesterday that the city should burn. Iris is leading chants outside a judge's private residence, calling police racist. He writes, let's start the chant. Quote, no agitators on the collaborative panel. No agitators on the manager's advisory group. Dan Hills. Wow. So the BS is in full effect. As you can tell, the BS is in full effect. But we got some questions marks for you, man. We got some real questions to ask ourselves, and then to answer about where we move forward. And it starts this weekend. Are you going to boycott the Cincy Music Festival this weekend? Is that in your plans? Is that the right way to go? And what are you prepared to do to make sure that this doesn't happen again, or that when it does happen again, that there is a response? You let me know. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. All right. Thank you so much. And I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow morning. bright and early at 8 a.m. I'm Nathan Ivy, Nathan Ivy Show, and we'll talk real soon. I'm out.